Hi, I just came back from my first weekend with the Sisters on the Fly. This group of women who like to camp is about 16,000 women strong now around the United States and Europe. And for this weekend, one of the sisters, Margaret Jensen, organized a kayaking trip along Anacapa Island, which is part of the Channel Islands offshore of Santa Barbara and Ventura, California. So here are my pictures. The group stayed at the KOA Ventura Ranch campground in Santa Paula, about 25 minutes from the coast. We got up bright and shiny early on a Friday morning and drove down to the Oxnard Marina to catch a boat. The company that provided our adventure for the day was the Blue Ocean Kayaking Company. The 25 of us boarded the boat. We had come armed with our lunches, a dry change of clothing, and lots of sweaters because it was going to be a very cold, wet, and chilly day. The crew assured us that the cold also meant that the water would be relatively calm. The excitement began when we saw pod after pod of dolphin.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
And right here you can look down and see them all.
Anacapa has 3 sections. We were headed to the isthmus between the most western section and the middle section. We would follow along the northern side, which is the inland side, to the most eastern point. Our ship, the Sunfish, would meet us there. There are all sorts of caves and rocks to kayak around on the way. The first part of the island to emerge out of the mist was the arch at the most eastern end. Here you can see the lighthouse and the buildings for the national park, which is the only place people live on the island. That's the isthmus between the middle section and the eastern section, which we would kayak through later. That's my friend Leslie. We would stay bundled up until it was time to get into the water. The crew prepared the kayaks and gave us all a helmet, and off we went. Our guide was called JD. This is the section between the middle island and the eastern island.
So that large one, the one that just got out of the water.
The little short one.
Here we are below the lighthouse and the buildings for the national park. As promised, the Sunfish waited for us at the eastern end of the island. We'd had a great time, but we were all very cold and very hungry. We paddled around the big arch taking one last look, and then we got aboard. Home sweet home. Thanks for watching. Look out for a second video about this weekend in which I show you some of the vintage campers that some of these sisters on the fly have created.